1988, we have organized a bus tour to the Macedonia, I mean in northern Greece, if we are going to talk, in international properly, So what happened is that our bus, in which we were from the committee, we have with our families, children, and things like that, was turned back from the border, and it was at that time. It was filmed by the crew from the Republic of Macedonia, and we've been staying on that bus, in the bus, without the air conditioning for a few hours, and we've been boiling in there, and they just didn't let us go. And what happened is they selected us from the committee, they took us out, and they thought they circled us with their police force, the border force, and they thought they're going to turn us back. We said, to hell with you guys. We are not alone. We've got families, we've got kids. I mean, you cannot treat us as they please, because they say, what they do over there, they have a system of selecting people. They said, well, you can go, but you cannot go. And at one time it happens that what happened is that they let our wives go, and they wanted to turn us. I told them at that time, because I was the president, so I used to speak to them, as well. I was like a spokesman. And I told them, I said, listen, you guys, if you're so stupid, how can you divide families? Who do you think you are? You've got the power to keep that border, but you don't have the power to keep your own people out of the border. But the question is, it was never easy. You can never talk to those people, because what they say, on the border, and they turned me back in 1988, and the second time in 1998, 88 and 98. So that's what they motivate themselves, that they didn't want our names, because they see, well, if it's a Slavic name, it's a no-no for them, And then it was the place of birth. You see, when we left our Macedonia in Greece, we didn't know the Greek name for our villages. And when we went over there, we put, let's say in my case, it was the village of Statica. And that's why I put that as a place of birth. And I had into my documents. When they saw that in my passport that I was born in Statica, that was automatically a no, not acceptable, so they turn you back. So the name, then was the place of birth. And then they have constructed a blacklist, I think they call it blacklist, of the people who they don't want to visiting. For example, like myself, I know. They put me on that list, and they never inform. They don't tell you that. But once you go to the border, they put your name on the computer, and the answer comes, and they say, well, you're not allowed to go there. And so they have devised many ways of turning people back. It's not just activists, because they couldn't give you the reason why. And so what happened, because of that, they've made once a mistake. Somebody put on their request, because it was like a criminal activity. And since the person that we were talking about, when we came back to Canada, he went and complained about it. And because they couldn't prove it, they had to give him the rights to go over there. So you see, that was one case they allowed, but the question is, there are so many of them they have turned back. They have turned back for a variety of reasons, So the response to the Greek government was like that. They will never accept us because we speak for the Macedonian. I'll tell you one more thing, that as far as we know, the reunion in 88, the Greek government sent 2 delegations to the Yugoslavian government at that time to tell them to not allow us to hold that reunion in Skopje at that time. They knew the problems that are coming from Deca Begalci, because they invented Europe to fight with us. We have managed to convince Yugoslavia at that time and many other countries. So we we spread our web, all throughout the world, so we've been active on many issues in many places, in many organizations. The letters that we have sent, and so on. That was, you cannot put a number to it.